everyone, it's Vickerman, and we're here with Offworld Trading, which is a early access game from the creator of Civilization 4. And it's basically, it's kind of hard to explain. It's a RTS, but it's not a warfare-based RTS. It is an economic strategy simulation game. And as you can see, this is kind of like a stock ticker here. That's a big part of the game. And so I think the best way to really explain it is just to go right on in. We'll go to quick play, which is an ordinary game. I'm going to keep most of these settings all the same, but you can fiddle around with this once you know a little bit more about the game to kind of customize your experience. And yeah, it can also be a multiplayer game. Obviously, I don't have anyone here to play at the moment, but that is a really great way to play this game. It makes it a lot, just very interesting as far as, you know, your certain tactics and things that you take. So we'll go ahead and pause. Okay, so when you start the game, basically you set up a base, you have to collect resources, and you've got to sell them to make profits and things like that. And then when you can see over here, this is stock prices for all the characters in the game, including myself. And basically you can buy stock in your opponents to the point to where you buy them out and then all their stuff becomes yours. So the goal of the game is to buy every other player out. So you can imagine that, you know, with more characters here, then it will take a longer period of time to play the game. So this is about standard for opponents on a medium map. So at the beginning of the game, you don't have any kind of headquarters or anything. This building here is not ours. It is a city that will grow over time, and that produces demands on certain goods. So that will influence the prices. Basically, the game has a fully modeled economic supply and demand system for a whole bunch of different resources, and your job is to make a profit on that. So at the beginning, you know, this is all we see. This is apparently on Mars, by the way. The idea is that these are corporations setting up shop on Mars. So to start out, you first got to find a place to settle. So can't see any resources at the moment, so we'll just kind of do that. And yeah, that yellow thing shows that there's a resource there, but we're not sure what it is. So yeah, we got carbon here and water here, and you'll see that as we go. All right, bunch of them there. So now the aluminum here, there are 3 levels there. That means that it generates 3 times the amount as normal. So it's a good place to put down a mine because you get better yield. So yeah, we haven't found anything quite yet. We do get another scan if we let time pass. So I'm going to get a little more information. And basically you're looking for the resources, and then you're going to decide where you want to place your headquarters. So as you can see, we've got a bunch of aluminum, a bunch of carbon, a bunch of water. Have not found any iron yet, which could spell trouble for a lot of different types of headquarters. The different headquarters really change the way that you play the game. So we've got expansive headquarters, which is going to be your kind of standard headquarters. It gives you 50% less steel required for buildings, which is pretty nice. And an extra claim with each HQ upgrade. Every headquarters, when you upgrade it, you get more claims, which we'll explain claims when we get a little bit further here. Robotics is interesting because all the other bases require food, water, and oxygen to be maintained, you know, because they're human beings. But the robotic does not. Instead, they require electronics, which unfortunately is a fairly high-end product in this game. It requires a whole lot of inputs, so it's a little hard to get at the beginning. Luckily, when you start a robotics facility, you start with quite a bit of it in stock, so that'll keep you going for a while until you can get electronics going. Scavenger is interesting because they use carbon instead of steel for most of their building, and that basically means that if there's a sharp competition for steel, which a lot of times there is, the scavengers will not really be part of that. And so they can just use carbon, which, you know, if it happens to be more available, then they're in great shape. Scientific is interesting because they have, also there's the black market, which is a bunch of like shady business things that you can do. The scavenger can use it more frequently than everyone else, so it's kind of to your advantage to use that a lot if you choose scavenger. Scientific is kind of the opposite. They have a bit of a defense against black market stuff. They also can put factories directly on the resources that they need, and instead of having to mine the resource and bring it back to base. So it's kind of nice for just lowering the amount of buildings that you have to make to get the materials you need. For example, you just put steel mill right on an iron source and you'll get that. You have faster technologies and patents, as you might expect, with the scientific name for the headquarters. I'm not quite satisfied yet. So basically, you can put down your base first, try to grab some resources, or you can wait and if you are actually the last person to set up a base,
levels of iron found.
Then you will kind of have you'll have an extra claim if you're the last one.
Scientific colony founded.
Okay, so one of the AI has made a colony.
Colony founded.
Okay, we're last, which is kind of nice because now we'll have an extra bit of land that we can take. So there's quite a bit to consider with this. I think that given our situation here, I'm thinking that expansive is probably the way to go. And I'll put it like this. Now, if you put your base on top of resources, then you'll get a big amount of them to start with, but they will no longer be mineable. So in this case, I'd like to go ahead and get a nice head start on the iron, because that's what I need for steel. And I'm also really close to iron mines that I can set up, and also aluminum and water over here. A good oh no. Well, the game crashed, so I'll try it again. Okay, not sure what happened there, but obviously this is a different game, so we'll need to check things out again. Low levels of carbon found. High levels of carbon found. There's probably more water here, yeah. Oh, yes. Bunch of carbon there. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do scavenger. We'll, maybe instead what we want to do is... Well, there's not a lot of space there. Maybe we'll just pick up water. So maybe we won't need to build a water thing for a while.
Let's get those ships unloaded.
Okay, so we start with a bunch of water because of where we set up. Now the claims here, that allows you to claim a single tile and to build something on it. Whether that's a resource gathering building, a processing building, or a special building like these Pleasure Dome, Patent Lab, and that kind of thing. So you have 4 of them to start with this particular setup. You might have more if you were last to settle, or if you had expansive for your headquarter type. Now I picked scavenger here because there's a whole ton of carbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a resource gathering building. So each of these resources has some buildings off to the side that generate them. I'm going to build a elemental quarry, which is going to be how you harvest the carbon. I'm actually going to build one on each of these, just to make sure that we are getting plenty of it. So now that we've started, you can see we've got a little bit of a drain on these materials. These are just kind of used by your organization: water, food, and oxygen to support your people, and then fuel to move things around like this. And it'll also be used to transport our resources back. Okay, so now that we've settled, we just kind of get more and more vision. It kind of goes.
Medium levels of iron found.
It goes about. It just kind of goes out. So an AI has settled with a scavenger base as well. It's not terribly surprising, given the fact that there's a lot of carbon around.
High levels of iron found. Scientific colony founded. Scientific colony founded.
And 2 scientific colonies. So now that we're into it, we'll need to think about some more resources. Another resource that is very important is aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and create a metal miner, which does aluminum or iron, depending on what it's built on. And I think we'll go here. It's a shorter transport time, which is always good. Okay, so now
Medium levels of silicon found.
they're building electronics. Interesting. Okay, I heard him say medium silicon found. We should probably get some of that as well, because we do need glass to level up our headquarters when the time comes. We actually start with enough glass for the first upgrade, but after that we're going to have to be supplying our own. So I'm going to go mine some silicon to get started with that. And somebody settled right next to me on that high water tab, which is kind of annoying, but not that big of a deal, really. Okay, and so basically, if you don't have enough resources for things, you can buy them off the market. And for things like upgrades, it says basically here that you can do this for $1,160. That is the price that it is to get to buy all the materials that you don't have. So you can do that, and in fact, you can spend more than what you have, because there's a debt here that is kind of like a credit card. You can ring it up and pay it down, and you do get interest if it stays on overnight. So like a 10% cost each night, around midnight or so, it'll go off for you. So you need to watch out for that you don't keep this too high overnight, or else things can get a little hairy. But for the most part, you can just kind of use this to buy and sell and not necessarily have to worry about too much. Now, it's not too much money to go ahead and upgrade, and we can really increase our production.
We should be proud of our guys.
Now that we've done that. So yeah, we can do a lot more production now, so that's it's well worth it. Okay, now there's several ways you can go. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do. But I think it'd be a good idea to go ahead and get a water supply. So we'll get that 3 stack, which is going to give you the highest yield. And as far as anything else, you know, we do want to build a glass furnace, but we're going to need more carbon for that. Luckily, we get a lot of it from what we're doing. Another thing that is good to do is to get a food supply going. I think we'll build one of those there. Because you see, we only have 15 food. Eventually, it's going to run out. Well, pretty soon it's going to run out. So need to think about that. And also, we want to think about power. Now, we'll need to wait until we get more aluminum and carbon in order to do that. But once we do that, we'll be in fairly good shape as far as meeting our basic needs. So now you get auctions every now and then that people can bid on certain things, like extra claims, or in this case, pirates that can steal materials from your rivals if you deploy them in the correct spot to intercept their shipments. I'm not really gonna bid anymore, I think, because I don't necessarily want to spend all that kind of money just yet. So we'll let whoever bought that get it. And it's pretty likely that they'll probably try to steal stuff from us, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. All right, so as more carbon comes in, we'll be ready to go with this. And once you have all the resources, it doesn't cost anything to go ahead and build this. Okay, so if you click on this and you try to set it, you'll see lines that go to where you can put the item. In this case, it looks like there are no geothermal vents available. So we're kind of out of luck with that, which is really unfortunate because that's the best way to get power. Everything else is a lot less efficient. So instead of that, we're going to go ahead and build a glass furnace to start producing glass with the silicon that we're mining. So our debt accrued 10% interest, which is not that bad because we don't have that much of it.
The black market is online.
Okay, so now the black market is all set. And we're scavengers, so it's probably a good idea for us to try to rely on this quite a bit. All right, so what should we do? So that's all their stuff. I'm curious where that geothermal... Well, I don't know if I want to do that because we're spending money on power right now, which is not good. And we're doing that because we're not generating enough for our stuff. So wind power, you have to put it, you want to try to put it on a tile that gets lots of wind, obviously, but it produces the least of all the materials, but it is constant. See, there's also solar power, which only works during the day. So that's kind of annoying. It does do more power overall, but you know, at what cost? But okay, so the thing that I need the most of is going to be glass at the moment. So I think what I'll do is I'll purchase a mutiny, and what this does is it basically makes the resources from an opponent's building that you cast it on go to you. So I'm going to do that here on this glass furnace. There we go. And now I'm receiving, well, I would, but it looks like they need O2. So I turn on auto supply, which means I'll go ahead and buy the materials they need if they don't have them available. Okay, so the worst of our power issues are over. We're actually making some money now that we have
The black market
a
is
little bit
online.
extra power than what we need. So that is always good. Okay, so when we get a little bit more glass, we'll be able to go ahead and upgrade again. Get another set of claims to go out. And that will be very good. So yeah, this game is basically, there is no combat really, except for these kind of things, which are not really combat. They're kind of like covert operations. The competition is really all in the economics. So that's really cool, really different than most RTSs out there. And I can really appreciate it for that.
Scientific colony expanded.
2,000.
Okay, so we got a claim on the auction,
Bidding will begin at
4,000.
which, you know, if we can get this,
9,000.
it would be pretty nice, but probably not going to happen. I don't want to spend 10,000. We'll just go ahead and upgrade because we have the materials to do so.
We should be proud of our guys.
And okay, so when you put buildings that are the same type next to each other, they get a 50% bonus, and that will stack too. So this one gets 50% more, this gets 50% more, and then if I build here, this one is touching 2, so that gets 100% more. However, the side ones will only get 50 because they're only touching 1, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to build another power thing up there, just to make sure that
I hate those
we get
filthy
plenty of
bandits.
them. And now we're kind of in a situation where it's probably a good idea to go ahead and make one of these things. Now this takes water and makes it into oxygen and fuel. And building one will really help us out because we're kind of running a deficit of both of those things. Okay, so I've got auto supply now. So hopefully that will...
Scavenger colony expanded.
Okay, so now we've got O2 coming in, as well as... Okay, food is on a surplus, so that means the price is going to go down. That's kind of nice. We won't necessarily need to make any more farms at the moment. Alright, so what else should we do? Could go with the patent office. It'd be free at this point. You do need chemicals to make that any good, and they require fuel and carbon. Fuel's really the only limiter here, so in fact, maybe we'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to build one of these chemical factories, and then also another electrolysis plants to increase fuel production so that we can be making those chemicals. So that will set us up. We'll probably need to upgrade again before we go ahead and build the patent office, but we're in a good situation to do so. And right now we're running a power surplus, so we're actually making some money every second here, which is really nice. We're losing water because a lot of things are going to be requiring it now. Alright, we've been targeted by an EMP. Where do they do
colony
this?
Expanded.
Okay, so somebody did the carbon mine. That's probably fine. We've got a lot of carbon. Alright, so glass is pretty expensive. We don't want to buy that. Generally, if the price is pretty low, then I'm going to go ahead and...
3,000.
So a claim auction.
Claim is available for
Thousands.
auction.
Let's get this if we
Bidding
can.
will begin now.
1,000. 8,000. 9,000.
Okay, now that'll do me some debt.
Sold.
But that's fine. We're running a profit now. And we want to avoid any water problems. Okay, so that gives a 50% bonus, but this... Okay, so it'll give me more, but you also have to think about this one. It's going to give you 3 instead, so it really is going to be better to settle there. Okay, the price of power is going down, which is kind of bad because we are making money off of that. And are we ready to upgrade? Yeah, we can upgrade for no
We'll have this
cost.
done in a jiffy. I just need to locate some spare parts.
Now, before we get into any trouble, let's go ahead and build another farm. And another wind turbine up there. And that should probably be all the power that we need. Everything else is looking pretty good. So glass seems to be pretty lucrative at the moment. All right, so go ahead and buy fuel if you need it, because we do want chemicals. Fuel is getting up there in price. Okay, let's build a patent place there. Now, when that's done, I'm hoping that we'll have enough chemicals to research teleportation, which will basically eliminate our need for fuel, which can't be soon enough because there's a shortage going on, which are going to drive the price up, and we're buying it right now, which is really not good. Luckily, our power surplus is probably, balancing that out. Okay, so we do need more chemicals. We've been targeted by an underground nuke here. That will lower the efficiency of a square, which is kind of terrible. So I want to, get the chemicals flowing.
Scientific colony expanded.
And then as soon as we get enough, all right, we have one more claim. I think what I was going to do is build a glass factory. Maybe I shouldn't, though. I think I'm going to start on electronics. Yes.
4
New patents
1,000.
up for auction.
I'm probably...
Bidding will begin at
5,000. 7,000.
I'm basically buying this just to keep him from getting it.
sold.
Which may or may not be a great idea. Oh, they stopped my power generation. That is not good. But it'll be back up soon. So do I have water pumps that are having issues here? Oh, they must have done the underground nuke there. I thought I had one more. Okay, so they're trying to hit my power supply hard. And they destroyed the wind turbine, which is terrible.
Scavenger colony expanded.
Okay, come on. Build those chemicals for me. I really want teleportation. Because that will mean that we can start stockpiling fuel because we won't use it anymore for moving stuff. Man. This power nonsense is no good. No, almost there.
It may not
Ready
be
to
a prettiest
upgrade?
looking upgrade, but damn is it efficient. You should be proud of our guys.
Let's go ahead and make another water pump here. Keep that from going more. Shortage of water coming.
5,000.
New land is available for auction.
6,000.
Begin at
Three
1,000.
three
12,000.
tile water.
14,000.
We want to get that.
16,000.
Sold.
Let's go ahead and do that. There's a shortage of water coming. Alright, food is getting high also.
Scientific colony expanded.
Let's go ahead and do that. And now research teleport.
Scientific colony expanded.
Once we do that, our fuel issues will be over. Okay, we can build a pleasure dome. That's good, because I think I got that patent, didn't I? So pleasure domes give you there's a amount of tourism that goes on, and the more of these you have, the more of that you get, as opposed to the other characters. It's kind of a fixed amount. Really need to start making some cash.
Scavenger colony expanded.
Okay, those seem to all be going now, but they're just not quite enough to keep our power up. So maybe during the day we should get some solar panel stuff coming in. That's going to be your best place for it.
Scientific colony expanded.
Alright, so now I sold some food to get some cash. So, how am I going to mess with these guys? I think something like that is going to give you... Alright, so they have goon squads here that defend those things from getting attacked by the black market, but we got quite a few of their stuff disabled.
6,000.
New pet up for auction.
I don't think that's going to help me too much, so...
Sold.
Alright, so maybe we want to go ahead and do this. This can build the off-world market, which allows you to send things back to Earth. And that basically means you can get quite a bit of cash from things that may be low value here.
سكة جركلني expanded.
Aluminum is quite expensive. I don't really need it for too much, so I'll go ahead and sell it. And let's pay off some debt before... I think we've already gotten the debt up. Okay, well that's fine. We have a shortage of aluminum now? I think they may have... Yeah, they froze our mine, that's why. It's kind of annoying.
Scientific colony expanded.
Let's launch some silicone. Okay, so those launches will get us quite a bit of money there. Okay, so things are going well. We're out of claims at the moment, but that's fine. Go ahead and sell some chemicals.
7,000.
8 claim is available for auction. Bidding will be done at
16,000. 20,000. 24,000.
sold.
Okay, we got another claim. You know, we're producing some of everything. I think we want more electronics, so let's go ahead and do that.
Off-world shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Alright, oxygen is going up. Wait and see if we can get the highest price, and then we'll go ahead and sell. Nice, okay. Sell that. Shut down some farms there. He impeded my
Scientific colony
Launcher.
expanded.
The black market is online.
So now we got a ton of carbon. We can start sending that off-world. Ooh, and this is going well here. All right, let's start buying some stock. Maybe in this person here.
Offworld shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Destroyed my pleasure dome. We'll rebuild.
New land is available for auction.
12.
Bidding will begin at
14,000. 18,000.
I don't really want this.
20.
Water's really cheap. I've got a ton of it.
4.
It's not really necessary. So we'll let them spend their cash on that.
sold.
Pay debt before we get interest.
The black market is online.
Okay. The electronics factory there.
Look at all the money.
Oh, I really need to do something about that.
The black market is online.
Oh, this is the person I'm trying to buy out. I probably shouldn't be destroying their stuff.
The black market is online.
Offworld shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Need 44,000 to buy him out. Alright, blew up his off-world trading place. That is really good.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
10,000, 12,000, 14.
I'll let them have this because we have teleportation, so we're not sending any shipments, so should not be a problem, I don't think.
So,
Off-world shipment
The black
launched.
market is
Look at all
online.
the money.
I'm gonna put a defensive black market thing there so we don't get hit there.
Pirates. I hate those filthy bandits.
Oh man, food is super valuable.
The black market is online.
Uh-oh, he's gotten control of someone else. Let's go ahead and take Mr. Entertainment. Okay, so now
Off-world shipment launched. Your stock is all the money.
okay, he's buying us now. Need
Your
to start
stock
buying
is
him.
being bought. Your stock is being bought.
Quit buying my stock, man.
Your stock is being bought. Your stock is being bought.
We're not surprised, just disappointed in you.
Darn. That didn't work. He had goon squads. He might win this here.
Off-world shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Need $570,000
Off-world shipment launched.
to
Your
buy him
stock
out.
is all the money. Your
The
stock
black
is being
market is
bought.
online.
Not sure where he's getting all this cash from. Shut down his power. Okay, we're kind of in a power issue here.
Off-world shipment
The black
launched.
market is
Look at all the
online.
money. Off-world shipment launched. Look at all the money. Off-world shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Okay, so yes. Oh. Man, I just couldn't quite get money quite fast enough for that person. But man, I hope you have seen how interesting this game is, and hopefully I'll be doing some more in the future. So until then, I will see you in the next video. You can see our graph here. We were pretty close. Yeah, that acquisition there probably set him up for a great situation. So we'll see you in the next video, and maybe we'll do this one again.